Hello, my name is Maya Patel, and for my particular design project proposal, I am proposing a technology called Mood Tracker. So for my problem statement, I am proposing a technology that will primarily be used to track emotion ratings every day to finally output a weekly analysis of both mental health and mood throughout the week. Mood tracking is an idea that can be mentally present for people looking to better understand their feelings and how they fluctuate throughout the day or even a week. However, the real question we as developers, or I am trying to answer, is as everyday users of technology, we want to find what can be learned about the people that are willing to do daily reports of their feelings and the ease at which they can use the type of technology that we are proposing. While some people are more open to the idea of change upon hearing what can be fixed about their attitude, it can be much harder for others to apply these changes. By aggregating a collective of different perspectives on the social science behind the effectors of a person's mood, as well as their ability to express themselves, we would use that given information to implement a technology best suited for those willing and able to self-report their emotions for analysis. Looking at the factors that go into the decision-making process, specifically when it comes to mood tracking, this should help in identifying what causes a person to feel a certain way and whether they want to change their outlook on what decides their mood. So first, I would like to present possible questions when implementing or designing a type of product like this. When formulating a baseline of research for a technology such as this one, there are often many possible questions or concerns when it comes to the types of people who would use an app such as this, or even in regards to the type of audience we would be targeting when it comes to broadcasting our application. So the first question would be, what is important about the usage of certain technological or non-technological devices to track consistency of mood throughout the week? Primarily, many concerns lie in the efficacy of how accurate and able an app can be when it comes to assessing the mood or mental state of any type of user. The second question we want to address is, what role can weekly mood reports play in a person's willingness to change their attitude for the following week? So when considering the user themselves, developers need to be able to consider the possibility that some people may only have the intention of assessing their feelings, but not actually doing anything to better their behavior or mood for the following day. What separates those who are looking for only an answer and those who are looking to change their outlook on mood assessment is based on the results that they are to receive. So here are some proposed solutions based on my research. As a developer, from a strictly design perspective, the best possible solution to a problem such as mood tracking is to think of an easy but also effective form of technology that can ideally be used as a daily tracker of one's emotional state. One possible solution we can consider is the development of an app that is different than the conventional paper survey that many people take when they list their emotions, symptoms, and feelings before being assessed by a medical professional. I think all of us have done this at some point in our lives where we are to go to a doctor and fill out a little survey assessing what symptoms we've been feeling as well as how we've been feeling so that the practitioner gets a better understanding of what's wrong with us. Instead, our technology would be developed on a basis of understanding a person's mood based on an emotional scale. So, based on my research, traditional methods of capturing social, functional, and behavioral data are limited to the information that patients report back to their healthcare provider at selected points in time. As a result, these data are not accurate accounts of day-to-day functions, as they are often influenced by bias in self-report. This also goes to show that the somewhat outdated practices of assessing the problems or struggles a person may be dealing with when it comes to their emotional state can vary depending on the person. It also doesn't help that not all of their previous medical history is available for analysis to assess truly what's wrong with a person. Upon developing a more user-friendly technology that allows a person to rate their mood on a fluctuation scale, 1 being low, 10 being high, they can easily learn to develop a routine of inputting all of their emotional data at the end of their day for analysis, in hopes of making this a daily regime or routine. So here we can see an example of a daily tracker, this one specifically focusing on depression and medication. And this is one that best matches my research on my specific design. This one is to detect depression and types of medications that patients take to assess their emotional state by day. And although this is a paper design, the premise is essentially the same when it comes to the implementation of the same type of style of tracking. With an easy ability to check off symptoms and feelings a person may be going through on any particular day, it can be collectively assessed to output an overall understanding of average mood by day. So another proposed solution to the problem that I proposed earlier would specifically pertain to the problem of mood reporting and a user's willingness to use that data that is collected from our app to actually change or alter their behavior based on the results of the previous day. Because this is generally independent because each user is likely to act differently based on their individual analysis, it would be entirely more beneficial to limit the pool of questions asked by applicants to only the types of questions that users believe are most relevant to fixing or even understanding the state of their emotions. So, based on my collected research, I can understand that depending on the conditions confronting them, they, being a person or user, can be quick to aid another in distress on some occasions, but be reluctant to provide assistance at other times to themselves. This research is concerned with 2 of the conditions influencing helpfulness: mood and self-awareness. Although there is now considerable evidence that both these factors can affect the motivation to help, it's not entirely clear whether these determinants increase or dampen this motivation. To eliminate this gap, developers must consider how positive versus negative mood or results can result in either a helpful or pessimistic approach to fixing that user's mood in the future. When presented with happy results, a person is more likely to continue to report happy behavior throughout the course of their analysis. However, it can just as easily change if there is some sort of negative effector on that person's routine or emotional status. Development in areas of limited questionnaire, as well as continuous efforts to try and utilize the results to better that user's mood, are by far some of the most effective ways of using a technology such as this one. So finally comes hypothesis testing and possible implementation. In the final stages of any type of product development, it's first important to make sure that all possible problems or concerns have been assessed, and then to develop the concluding stages of testing. The easiest and most effective way to test a technology such as this one would be first to conduct a set of studies over the course of a week, pertaining specifically to the types of questions users would likely feel comfortable answering, followed by an additional study pertaining specifically to the actual answering of the questions that they picked. The first study would be conducted under terms of recognizing the dynamics of emotions at a glance and capturing short-lasting feelings with specific experience that simulate that feeling. A group of test subjects, 20 to 30 users, would be prompted to select a general cluster of questions which range from behavioral to symptomatic to emotion-based. From these selected questions, we as researchers would be able to form a better understanding of the questions people generally consider when analyzing their mood. The second study would more so focus on the individual users themselves and would be done over the course of a week. Throughout this period of time, users would be prompted to answer the questions they had picked from the first study each day. By the end of the week, researchers would be able to get a better understanding on each person's emotional state in reference to each question they answered, and finally, get a general positive or negative result of their average mood throughout the week. So in this particular abstract, we can see hypothesis testing on mood tracking more specifically, in understanding emotions based on three-dimensional shapes. Similar to this idea, the purpose of the technology I'm currently proposing is to intake user perspectives on their own mood and use it as a generality for the types of positive or negative emotional state that they might be in. And we can see from these pictures over here that these three-dimensional shapes are to symbolize the types of symptoms, feelings, and symbols they are feeling on a certain day, which can then be used to identify the emotional state that they are in. Finally come my major findings. So upon going through my final research and all possible design implementations, it can best be concluded that to create the most effective and accurate mood tracking technology, one must fully understand the user's perspective when using an app such as this, as well as how effective it will actually be in bringing about change in a person's day-to-day mood. The main point that can be taken from this particular design implementation is that mood tracking is not 100% accurate analysis of a person's emotional state at any point in time. It must be considered that it is in the hands of the user themselves to want to, 1, participate in the use of a technology that must be used daily to provide the most accurate results when it comes to emotional analysis. And 2, they must be able to work towards actually bettering their mood and well-being based on the results they are to receive if they want to fix themselves. By successfully participating in this design practice and forming a better grasp of the user-technology relationship, this product can yield both positive and accurate results for any participant or user who chooses to use it. Thank you so much.